friends. It's me, Pluggo, co-host of Between Two Beers every Thursday night, 8 p.m. right here on Love Wrestling. We're not here to talk about that today. That's not why I'm here. I am here. My guests, they were number 19 on the PWI Top 150 last year, currently signed to Impact, and making their Love Pro Wrestling debut at Love Pro Wrestling 9, Mark Among Us, on October 28th at the Rec Room in Alberta, Canada. I am joined by Gisele Shaw. Gisele, how in the hell are you tonight?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I am fantastic, darling. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. I am fabulous as well. Opportunity to talk to you. Couldn't pass this up. So we're here to talk LPW. You are making your debut at LPW 9 here, as I just said. What does that mean to you as somebody from the lived in the Alberta area, and there's such a rich history of wrestling culture there, and you're one of the pillars, one of the faces of that culture, and you get to make your debut for a new up and coming, just in their first year wrestling promotion? What drew you in to love wrestling?
You know, I actually spoke to Spencer before, and he's just such an incredible person. And, you know, when he offered me an opportunity to wrestle back in Alberta again, where it all started for me, you know, I couldn't pass it up. I lived in Alberta for the longest time. I don't even know how long I lived there, but you can't forget where you came from, you know, and to come back there since, I don't even know, I think it's been 7, 8 years, going to 8 years since I've been in Alberta. So I think it would just be nice to see how far wrestling, especially women's wrestling, have, you know, become in Alberta.
Oh, absolutely. And I know we're excited to have you at Love Pro Wrestling this coming
Thank you.
Coming up on October 28th. You said you lived there. What's that wrestling scene like for maybe the fans of the independent wrestling that maybe are just discovering LPW? As like I said, it's up and coming. What is that wrestling scene like down there for the fan bases and like diehard wrestling fans, or is it kind of just like casual? What was your experiences like when you lived down there?
So when I was living in Alberta, obviously there was not a lot of women at the time when I was wrestling. So I really feel like the Alberta fans are so spoiled now, because I do see that there are a lot of, you know, up and comers, especially women, wrestling right now. And I feel like the wrestling has improved as well. The talent is just surreal. And I'm just happy that it's expanded, and to see it flourish, it's just perfect.
Yeah. And we're going to add you to that list of super talented women's wrestling happening at LPW. The Terrence from Accounting, Nicole Matthews. We've had Veda Scott down here. And then your opponent, Zoë Sager. You trained with Lance Storm. She trained with Lance Storm. That's your opponent heading into LPW 9. Let's just jump right into it. What's that like going against another Lance Storm student? Is that put like a little extra on the match for you, or is it kind of like, I want to show you, or do you guys know each other so well since you were both trained by the same school?
Well, you know, anyone that's trained by Lance Storm is always going to have that really high standard of wrestling. And I know that she is competent in the ring. And I've seen her wrestle before. I have done, you know, my studying, as you would say. And and I'm really
that
excited
research
to wrestle
got
her.
to.
Of course, you know, the internet is just in your fingertips these days. So I have done my research, and I'm really excited to wrestle her. Um, but I feel like she hasn't wrestled anyone like me. Anyone who says that, oh, you know, like we're both Landstorm trainees. Is that even how you say it?
Graduate students? I don't know.
Graduates. Yes. Landstorm Academy, Storm Wrestling Academy graduates, you know, would say that we would have the exact same wrestling style. Yes, we have the same foundation, but I have been traveling, you know, the world and learning new styles. So she hasn't met anyone like me, because I push people to their limits.
So she hasn't met anybody like the Quintessential Diva And
No,
I have to give Zoe credit, your opponent. I don't know if you've met Zoë Sager. She had a little tough time getting started in LPW. The first few matches, she wasn't quite getting those wins she was looking for. But over the last 2 events, she is a 2-0. She's on a winning streak. She has aligned herself with Reid Matthews. So for you going into your LPW debut, some uncharted waters with a competitor who's got a bit of a chip on their shoulder, I would say from an outsider's perspective. How do you handle that, knowing, like you said, you've done your research, but this is a new Zoë Sager. This is like I said, there's something about her that has just clicked, and she's on a roll.
That little je ne sais quoi, as you would say, right?
Yeah. A little bit extra,
what?
right? Yeah.
A little bit of something. I don't know what that is, but you know what? We'll figure it out. No, I'm really looking forward to that match with Zoe, and I know that she is on a winning streak right now, and she has aligned herself with Reid Matthews. And Reid Matthews, I know him very well because he and I went to Storm Wrestling Academy, another graduate, at the same time. So I think yes, so I
did not know that.
I'm
missed skipped my research.
Surprise.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what they have underneath their sleeves. Is that the saying? I always murder sayings. I don't
know if Reid wears sleeves per se, but we'll just for the sake of
for the sake of being
metaphorically sleeving, yes.
not be confused with sliving, but it's sleeving. So I have no, I'm not going to underestimate my opponent because just because she's new and she's had a rough start at LPW doesn't mean that she's clearly pulling all this wins out of nowhere. And I definitely have to watch my back, so I have to be smart about it. But I can't tell you what my plan is because I know she's going to be listening to this.
Which I was going to kind of bring up. We touched on Reid Matthews a little bit. So you're going into a match with Zoe. It's one-on-one with Zoë Sager, but that Reid Matthews involvement is always looming. How do you, as a performer, go into that? Like, how do you prepare for that potential involvement on his end? Because we have seen in Zoe matches, since she's aligned with Reid, that he's maybe not gotten, physical, but he's definitely skewed the outcome, especially when she wrestled with Gigi Ray. So what is your preparation like heading into that?
Well, I'm always prepared, in any of my matches, and hence why I am the quintessential diva, darling. And I've taken care of Reid Matthews before. I've kicked his face in before in training, especially. It's cool. And I wouldn't have any problems at all kicking his face in now. So bring it on.
So you're saying we've got a little bit of a personal edge to this upcoming match here at LPW 9.
Yes.
Sorry, we're at 9.
We're at 9. You know
9.
What? We can't count, darling.
Yeah, we're too fabulous to count. I'm an honorary. I'm calling myself the honorary quintessential diva tonight. We're running with that.
We just count numbers here.
That's right. We count numbers. The way I lose count on shows, just like you lose count on accolades and championships. I could go on and on, Gisele, talking to you all day about all of your accomplishments across the entire wrestling scene, especially in Canada alone. So I know deep down we're all excited to have you at LPW 9. Mark among us, October 28th, Alberta, the Rec Room. That place is a beautiful place to wrestle. I'm super excited for your debut. And honestly, before I get you out of here, I can't think of a better early birthday present than your first win in your debut match at Alberta at the Rec Room.
Let's hope so.
2 days early, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh,
yes,
we're pulling for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I can't wait to meet everyone.
And we can't wait to have you. But like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I've already taken up too much as it is. Thank you so much. We'll see you on October 28th. Until then, we're out. Peace.
Awesome. Bye.